All right, video number three. This is actually a video about the second book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood, Lover Eternal. We've already done this book once, so actually I'm going to try to do it short. Yeah, we'll see. This book has a little bit of background, but not like the first. It's starting to get a little bit more spread out, and it gets more diverse. You're starting to follow multiple lives and different things like that. So it's interesting. I have done a video about this one before, so we're going to try to go a little bit faster through this. The characters in this, you have Rage. He's the Black Dagger Brotherhood member. He has a beast that lives on his back as a tattoo. He was cursed because he's impulsive. And anytime his emotions get the better of him, he turns into a beast. The next person is going to be Mary. She is a human. And she is sick. That's mainly what you need to know. John Matthew is introduced in this book. He is an orphan that was lost in the human world, kind of like Beth from the first one. He's fixing to go through his transition. Nobody knew about him, though. He was completely lost in the human world. Nobody knew he was there. But the person that found him is Bella. Well, Mary and Bella. Anyway, Bella is a female vampire. She is Mary's next door neighbor. And you meet her pretty quick in the book as well. She is there to kind of help Mary and John Matthew get him where he needs to be. Some other people, okay, you got the same group from before. You've got Vicious, you've got Butch, Marissa's in this book. Of course, you've got Beth and Wrath, you've got Torment. Another Black Dagger Brotherhood member that you meet is Zadist. He is the most withdrawn and scary of the bunch. Basically, we'll get to him a little bit more in depth in another book. Let's just say you wouldn't want to meet him in a sunny park, much less in a dark alley. He's scary. He's creepy. He has a right to be. Another person that you learn a little bit more about in this one would be the Scribe Virgin. She is their deity. Now, you met her in the first book, but you learn a little bit more about her in this one. In the first one, she is just a figurehead. What, La?
It says you have to punch people in the face.
That is mean.
No, it says you have
But
to punch bad guys.
they do this. They punch people in the face. Okay, Okay, you punch bad guys in the face. Gotcha. You learn a little bit more about her in this book because she does more, basically. In the first book, Wrath meets with her, and it's been like the first time that he's met with her in hundreds of years. And she is very much a deity. She is just like a goddess, and that's it. She's just there. She's just there. In this book, you get to understand her a little bit more. Some of the other people that you learn in this one, you meet Lessers, X and O. I think Mr. X you have met in the first book. Pretty sure you meet Mr. X in the first book. But then you also get in touch with Mr. O in this one. He is not cool. He's not good. He's a very bad person. But let's see if I can run through the plot here of this one pretty quickly. This is one of my favorite books, so sorry, I kind of get caught up in these. Okay, Mary's sick. She finds out that she has cancer again. She was in remission. She finds out it's back. But she hasn't found out the extent and everything like that. She has heard from John Matthew before. She works at a suicide hotline, or she does something at a suicide hotline. And he's not in here.
Oh, he's not.
And she gets these phone calls from somebody that they pick up. They don't say anything, but they are on the line. They are listening. And then they hang up. Well, she finds out who that is. It's John Matthew. And he follows her home. And she realizes the reason he doesn't talk is because he can't. So she starts talking to him with American Sign Language. And during this meeting, her next door neighbor, Bella, comes over and realizes that John Matthew is not just a normal human boy. He is a vampire that is lost in the world. And he's going to die in the next few years if he doesn't get situated with another family that can take care of him. So they go to meet with Torment to see what can be done to place John Matthew somewhere. He is not so sure about that, but we have another book for that one. While they are there at the meeting, Mary meets Rage. Rage is recovering. He has turned into the beast the night before, and so he's recovering, and he can't really see, but he's trying to move around a little bit and get back on his feet after having one of his episodes, I guess you'd say. He meets Mary in the hallway and convinces Bella to set them up on a date. They erase Mary's memory of the encounter and actually going to the training center. But Bella introduces her to Rage as a blind date. During this little date, all kinds of things happen. It's kind of crazy. But she loses her purse. And it's picked up by the Lessers. It's not Mr. X, not Mr. O. It's one of the other ones. I think Mr. C or something. Mr. something. I'm not sure. He is wounded very badly during the fight, but Rage takes Mary away and has her as the first priority instead of killing the guy. Well, he doesn't realize that the guy stole Mary's purse at first. Then he finds out later that this guy stole Mary's purse and they have to start protecting her. And during all of this, all kinds of other things happen. Like I said, this one is a little bit harder to digest, I guess you could say. It's it's kind of rough. But in the end, John Matthew gets placed with a family. That is actually not too much in this book. I think it's the next one. Let's see. Yeah. The next book is when he's actually placed. But now he's been found. They know where he is. can take care of him. Mary is taken care of. She actually ends up moving into the house with Rage and everybody. The problem is, Rage has to go through several different things to ensure Mary's safety. One of the things is called a writhe, and he had to offer this to the entire Brotherhood. So this is all of them. And it's a way to wash the slate clean between all of them, because he did something by bringing her into their lives without their permission. It's something very... I'm trying to think. He shouldn't have done it. He just really shouldn't have done it. And the Scribe Virgin says, you to wipe this slate clean, you have to offer the entire Brotherhood a writhe. And that is where you do not fight back. They wound you, and it's there to physically show the emotional pain, or I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it's a way to bring them closer together. And it does. Because they hate that they hurt him. They're not very happy that he brought Mary there, but they hate to hurt him in the physical sense, because it's like hurting themselves. They would do the same thing if they were in his place, but they shouldn't have. So the writhe happens, and they all... that's where Mary gets to meet all of them, really, and realize what good people they are. During this whole thing, she's still got this cancer thing going on. So he does all of this, and there's still more to come, because she's dying. They talk about the different treatments and stuff like that, and they're trying to give her some different things, but she's already been through treatments once, and her liver can't take it. You know, if you know anybody that's been sick, you get it. So to save Mary completely, he also goes to the Scribe Virgin and begs her to save Mary. To do that, he has to keep his beast, and he has to give Mary up. Mary won't remember him, but they can't ever see... No, I'm doing a video.
But Mom, only do it.
No, take it to Daddy.
You
But
like this, and then you won't do it.
He gives up a lot of things so that Mary can live. And he is under the impression that he'll never see her again. He's going to live as a bonded male without his female, without his other half. And he's okay with that. Not really, but that's what is going to have to happen for her to be healthy. Then that's what's going to happen for her to be healthy. This is where you learn more about the Scribe Virgin. Okay, she seems awfully harsh. Okay, you have to keep your beast, and you have to give her up. That's a lot. Yeah, she'll live and she'll be happy, but that's not enough, you know. Here's where you see more humanity from the Scribe Virgin. She goes to heal Mary, and she realizes that because of the cancer before and the other treatments, Mary is infertile. She cannot have kids. And that's something that Rage didn't know. So when the Scribe Virgin finds out, she's like, that's giving up too much. You've already given up your capability of producing a baby. You cannot have kids. So I'm not going to take the love of your life away too. So she lets them stay together. And that's really gives me a new sense of who the Scribe Virgin is.
Stop doing this.
Lesser O, Mr. O, comes into play when he finds Mary's wallet. All of this stuff has kind of already happened. And Mary is living with Rage and everything's okay, right? Well, Mr. O goes to Mary's place, and Bella thinks that it's one of the brothers. So she goes over there to see him, and actually gets captured by Mr. O and taken to a containment facility that he has made. That is like really awful. I mean, come on, she's being kidnapped and now she's being held captive. The crew finds this out by going to Mary's house again to get the rest of her things, and the Beast Rage is there with Mary getting some more stuff when all the Lessers show up. A bunch of different Lessers come in because they know that vampires have been there. And he beasts out, I guess you could say. He hulks out and starts eating the Lessers and everything. That's when they realize that the Beast likes Mary too. So the Beast doesn't hurt Mary, and Mary can kind of sort of control him and tell him when it's time for Rage to come back. But the end of the book, you have Rage and Mary are happily ever after. You still have Beth and Wrath are still happily ever after, and he is now the king. Doesn't mean a whole lot at this point, but he is now the king. You have Bella has been captured, and you have John Matthew is still in the human world, but now he has been found. So that's the end of the second book, basically. I am really glossing over a lot of stuff. Let's see, my favorite quote in this book would have to be the scene where Mary tells Rage what's going on. He sent her to the doctor's office with Fritz, and Fritz doesn't know what happened to her. She kind of disappeared after her appointment. She went to Bella's house, and she's kind of catatonic, really. She's very upset because they told her how serious it is. And she kept saying, I'm fine, don't worry about it. And she was pushing Rage away. And they kind of have a fight, and he finally storms out of the house, but he's very upset. And one of the things, she's like, why don't you just tell me when you're not okay? And he goes into the front yard and does something that she showed him on their first date. And she sees it from the window. And he hears her coming down the stairs. She flies out of the house and says, I'm not okay. That is like a kicker. It's really good. Like I said, I love these books. That one's one of my favorites. I love Rage to death. And I don't know, he seems the most human. I mean, come on, you've got Butch in there, but he's still the most human. Stop.
What happens while you play?
You're not playing on my phone. But Rage is one of my favorite characters, so we'll see what happens with him, because there's more stuff going on with them. We'll see what happens with him in some of the other books. Thanks. Let me know what you think about the books. I know a lot of people haven't read them, but please do. They're great. Let me know what you think. Give me comments. Let me know what you read. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I read something very similar, or I might read those books to begin with. So hit like, hit subscribe. You know the whole routine. Thanks. I'll see you in a minute.